something a bit different for you now, although nonetheless more disgusting, as there are often so many police misdeeds to report on. But today we have another person in a position of power, you might say, abusing his position for what appears to be his own sexual gratification. 55-year-old Dr. Nicholas John Chapman, who was born in South Africa and qualified as a doctor at the University of Cape Town in 1993, has gone on trial over his actions towards a 16-year-old girl who appears to have worked at the surgery. Now, there's absolutely no right way to say this in which it won't get demonetised, so I'll just come out with it. No pun intended. Dr. Nicholas John Chapman, how? I do not know, deposited his own semen into cups of coffee that he made for the young girl on several occasions, according to prosecutions at Gloucester Crown Court. The victim told how she was shocked after discovering gloopy substance at the bottom of her cup when she finished her coffee made by the doctor. Upon getting suspicious, she informed police, who carried out a lab test which later confirmed that the substance was indeed the good doctor's gentleman's relish. Prosecutors opening the trial told how the incident happened between the end of 2020 and September 2021, and that by adding his semen to the coffee, he had been attempting to engage her in a form of sexual activity without her knowledge by ingesting his trouser gravy. I know it's not funny, but I'm trying to appease the YouTube gods here. The prosecutors said that the victim had no idea what it was for nearly a year. They added that she took a sip of her drink and spat it out into the sink. It didn't taste right. It tasted salty. She tipped the remainder into the sink and saw a thick, gloopy substance go into the sink. She just knew it was something that shouldn't have been there. She did not for a moment think it could have been semen. The court were told how she didn't think much more of it at the time, but did complain to others that her drink tasted funny, and reportedly tipped other drinks away that he had made for her. She said there came a time when he had made her a drink and noticed a specimen bottle in his trouser pocket. Prosecution barrister Richard Posner said this immediately raised suspicion. She collected the coffee and tipped it down the sink and noticed a slimy trail. Some of the substance was retrieved and put into a specimen pot, and photos were taken of the gloopy substance at the bottom of the mug. Analysis of the coffee made on September the 13th, 2021 found semen and DNA provided a match to the defendant. Once Dr. Chapman was arrested, he told police that due to a medical condition that he's managed since a teenager, he lets out semen whilst defecating, and that some residue may have remained on his hands. Now, I don't know about you lot, but I've never heard of anyone blowing their load whilst taking a dump. Chapman is said to have admitted performing a sex act in a toilet, choking his chicken in other words, but not for sexual gratification, and that some of the semen may have been left on his hands. Not if you washed them properly, you sick bastard. But he also claimed he had no reasonable explanation as to how the jizz got in the girl's coffee. Chapman's brief told the court that he had no sexual interest in the victim, that he did not behave inappropriately, and did not exclusively make coffee for the victim, denying completely putting anything in her cup. He denies making her coffee on the morning of the incident when the sample was taken for police, and can only assume that somebody else put his baby batter in her drink. Because I'm sure all of your colleagues have access to your knob slurry, don't they, Doctor? His brief told the court that while a sample of coffee collected from September the 13th contained his biological fluid, he has underlying medical condition where semen will discharge when opening his bowels. Maybe he was having a shit while stirring her coffee with his cock. Yeah, that'll explain it. Well, the trial continues, and although this isn't police, as I said at the start, and as most of you already know, we will highlight where we can anyone in positions of authority, and this alleged scumbag is allegedly one of those who allegedly have abused their position of authority. Sick, sick man. Allegedly.